Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. We have Paulie Malignaggi from the boxing world going up against Artem Lobov from the UFC fight world. It'll take place Saturday, June 22nd out of Tampa, Florida, and it'll be broadcast live on pay-per-view.
No, I don't think this is more dangerous than boxing, but I think it's similar to boxing. You know, it is bare knuckle boxing. I think in one side there's more facial damage because bones can break and whatnot. But from the other side, I also think that boxing, the rounds, the fights are longer, so there's more concussive shots that are landed and whatnot. The thing you guys have to understand about the damage in boxing is because fights are long. There's a reason they made them 15 rounds or 12 rounds. You see bad knockouts in one round in boxing. Guys wake up and they're fine. Just like in MMA, the fight guys wake up and they're fine. It's the dragged out, long fight, debilitating fight. Sometimes guys aren't even knocked out; they lose on points. But it's the full throttle, spread out assault, spread out, not even assault, tough fight that will damage these guys. So you don't have that even in this sport. It's a shorter fight. So no matter what damage you take, the short burst, I think, prevents you from taking life-risking damage anyway. You know what I'm saying? Sure, people see blood, people see broken bones. Just like in mixed martial arts, the myth is it's more dangerous than boxing because you see more blood and broken bones in mixed martial arts. But that doesn't kill you. Brain trauma kills you. Extended brain trauma kills you. You don't have extended brain trauma in mixed martial arts. Not to say it's not dangerous, because respect all my MMA friends. I know it's very dangerous, and I respect all of you. But at the same time, this sport, bare knuckle boxing, is also not a dragged out assault. So even if you have an assault, I don't think it's dragged out long enough to give you sustained damage. Sure, I say I love to damage this guy and whatnot, but at the end of the day, I don't think I have enough time to damage him anyway. Pair with what you have, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the end of the world, you know what I'm saying? Like I have been a very good fighter my whole career, and that's what I'm going to keep being in this too. You know, actually this is a lot easier for me because as you get older, the rounds get going a lot of rounds. It's actually harder on your legs, but this is a short burst of a fight. So even at an extended age, if you still your legs, it doesn't last long enough for your legs to kind of start feeling it. You know what I'm saying? So I'll have all the skill set and all the sharpness that I usually have, but I won't have to worry about going into the late deep rounds where you have to question your ability to have your legs still under you when you get to 10, 11, 12, like you do at the end of your career, Well,
are we going to see you how do you feel going? Because you haven't fought in a while,
I feel good, once I started training and I started putting punches together and everything, I feel good. It's we're working, we're getting better every day, and I actually, I probably have to pull back a little bit because I feel like I'm getting very sharp and I don't want to peak too early, but we feel good. I think we're good. I think the main thing is keeping healthy, keeping sharp, and making sure we're in the fight at 100%, because it's not just about winning for me. I think winning is a foregone conclusion. It's more about making sure I put enough damage on this guy for him to remember it.
What do you respect about him? Is there anything you respect about him as a fighter?
No, I don't respect anything about him.
Is this fight personal?
She asked me why I have this. I took on this challenge and what can we expect. I think I took on this challenge. I'm always looking for new challenges, and I'm always looking for new opportunities. I'm always looking to expand my horizons. I didn't expect it to be fighting, but I think surprise horizons are always good. I think life is full of surprises sometimes, and I think when the way Dave Feldman framed it for me and the way he presented it, obviously money's part of it. It is paying very well. When you're making the money I'm making in this fight, you usually feel like it's going to be a tough fight, but I'm making a tough fight worth of money, but for a pretty easy fight, So it was kind of easy.
Is Showtime behind you for this fight? I mean, because you are.
Yeah, my job at Showtime, they're always supportive of everything I do. They've always been supportive of everything I do. Those guys are great. They're my Showtime family. It's not just about my Showtime colleagues and workmates. It's also my Showtime family, and so they're behind 100%. Also, the Showtime schedule is a little slow, so it actually doesn't really interfere with my training very much, and that's been a positive for me as well. As a matter of fact, the next time I work a Showtime fight is after the fight, so I have pretty much a free schedule.
How many more fights are we going to see with you in the bare knuckle? How many?
I don't know. I don't know. I saw as I answered up there. I don't know what it's going to bring. We'll do one at a time and we'll see.
Did you get into this because you were hoping this is the middle ground to get Conor to fight you?
No, I got into this because when he offered me a purse that was usually reserved for a tough fight, and I said, "You're going to offer me that to fight this guy?" I said, "All right, I have to consider it. Let me talk to my team." You know what I'm saying? Because when I first gauged my interest, I'm like, "Nah, man, I don't feel like training. I don't feel like I don't feel like fighting." And he offered me something that I'm like, they're like, okay, you know what? Let me talk to my team. And let me discuss it and we'll figure it out. And then we kind of, we negotiated things a little bit, and here it was. So no, I didn't think about Conor. I live comfortably, but it's nice to have more money. There's no such thing as extra money. And also, it's always nice to fill up your liquid, because I'm always a guy that invests a lot. So I'm never, I try not to hold a lot of liquid because I spend. Right. So it's nice to re-up your liquid as well, and this gives me a good amount of liquid, which I probably may invest again and again and again. And that's my problem. I don't like to burn my money partying. I like to party, but I mainly invest and do stuff. So in order to re-up that liquid, I was like, you know what, this is a good amount of money you're offering me for a fight that's not so tough, pretty short, and when I consider the possibilities compared to what I've had to do to make the possibility of this much money again, I say, you know what, let's discuss and go for it.
What do you think the chances of Conor McGregor coming into this bare knuckle fighting?
I don't think there's a lot of chance of it, and more so I don't care. Like I said, at the end of the day, Conor made it personal. I didn't make it personal, but at the end of the day, any kind of man that gets constantly insulted will want to do something about it. Conor couldn't kick my ass, so what he did was he changed the video around on me because he couldn't sleep at night after what I did to him in the gym. He couldn't sleep. I'm telling you, that guy's got a lot of pride, but when it comes to showing it and putting your balls on the table, all of a sudden he forgets about his pride. He actually told Khabib it's only business while he's getting his ass kicked. Like, that's cringe to me. That's cringe. I could never, as I'm getting my ass kicked, tell you anything but fuck you, even while I'm bleeding in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, that's cringe. Like, that you have no balls to the point that you could even think to do that. So at day's end, I think when the ass kicking he took in the gym was over, and he went back home and he was sleeping on his bed that one night, 2 nights, and he couldn't deal with the fact that it wasn't just what I did to him, because I could have done a lot worse. I just wasn't in shape. It was all the things I told him as I was doing it. I was very degrading to him, and I think he couldn't sleep at night, and he had to figure out a way to say, you know what, let me one-up him. I have to one-up him, and so he put out a picture, that he put out a copy of a video. Think about it, in 7-8 seconds that he has, you can take any Mayweather fight and make him look like he lost. Yeah. You can take 7-8 seconds of any 12-round fight. Think about it. Think about any 12-round fight, even one-sided fights. If you take 7-8 seconds of any of them, even the supposed knockdown, why doesn't it pan out so you see me go off balance? Why does it zoom in at the last minute? You see from far away where he's in the way, and then the turnaround camera, you see it zoomed in very close. So you don't see the pan out where I'm going off balance. You know what I'm saying? Or how he's dragging me from behind my neck. So again, they did it very well, but the fact that he couldn't live with himself after that day, like, he thought, he was for sure thinking, I got him out of shape, I'm going to make him go 12, and I'm going to stop him. And when he couldn't do it, and it backfired on him, his pride was hurt, and I felt bad. His pride was hurt, Then on fight week, I told him he has no balls right to his face, and he couldn't even get himself to do anything about it. Like, you see how I smacked the shit out of his boy last month? Like, at least throw a smack. Like, if I get in your face and tell you have no balls, how do you not smack me? You know what I'm saying? Like, the fear is in his eyes. He doesn't want to get anywhere near the ring with me, and that's fine. That's fine. I didn't do this for Conor McGregor. But I do have a dislike for that whole team. I do have a dislike for the way they handled it. Very unprofessional, very childlike. And I really didn't think any of this would present itself. So it's like, I get one of the bums of the team, and I get to do what I want with them. And they pay me pretty well. Let's go for it.
That's what pushed you at the end?
Do you see Bare Knuckle becoming...
Yeah, push me. A little bit of everything pushed me.
Do you see Bare Knuckle becoming combat sports answer to Ice Cube's Big Three?
Yeah, it's possible. I think it's gotten very big in the past 12 months. Think about it when it first started in June. BKFC compared to where it is now, it's getting a lot more headlines. And I think it's being handled very well by the PR team and at BKFC and Dave Feldman and everything. It's grown. It's a growing sport. I think it's going to get more and more legalized. As a matter of fact, I think one of the reasons they signed me was to try to get it more legalized in other states, and sure enough, that worked, because Florida was not one of the states where it was legal, and now we're having the fight in Florida. So I think there was some of the thinking behind that was that trying to get this brain shit out, and things like that. And so I think it's a one hand washes the other kind of thing. Dave said it during the press conference. He's paying the fighters well, and he's paying me well. But I think in return, it's not just about the fight for him. I think it's also about commercializing this very well.
What's it going to take to get into the bigger
I don't like Lobov. I don't like any of that.
What's it going to take to get into the bigger markets?
Good fights. Keep promoting. I don't think it's an overnight thing, but you can see the result from last June when they had their first show to now. So I think you just keep growing. Whatever they're doing it right. So I'd say you just keep doing that, and I think they are going to keep doing that. And I'm 38. I'm not going to fight forever, but at the same time, you have a guy like me. Lobov still has a reputation. In this day and age, you can be famous just off association. He's famous just off association. So it creates a...
He's the GOAT off association.
Yeah, he's the association with McGregor and whatnot. You've got some other good fighters on the card. This is a very good card. Chris Leben's a good fighter. His opponent is a good fighter. Randall Bailey, scary. I didn't realize he got in. Listen, I don't know how much Randall has left as far as taking a shot, but man, I don't know what's gonna happen when he hits somebody barehanded. His whole hand might shatter, but like he might, your whole face might do like the cartoons, like just blow up. You know, like man, can you imagine? Can you imagine that?
What if the shot that Deontay caught Brazil with, if he caught somebody like that in bare knuckle?
Yeah, I think your whole face shatters. You know, I think your whole face shatters. But his hand and his arm might shatter too. You know, like there's a balance with what you play. There's a balance in the way you have to play the force of your punches to the accuracy and all that. It's a little bit different there, and I'm noticing that as I'm training.
What are your thoughts on him discrediting? I mean, you're a two-time world champion.
I don't care. He's selling the fight. He like I said on the days, he knows he's gonna lose this fight. There's no doubt.
It's gonna be an easy fight for you.
Yes, it's going to be a very easy fight for me, but he knows he's going to lose this fight. You can see it in his eyes when he says things. He's just trying to convince himself. You know? You can see it in his eyes. He's also lying. Like I said, when you lie, it's because you're afraid. Okay, and I don't have to lie. I never lie. Okay, and you guys have always known me as a straight shooter and as a guy who doesn't care who he offends. I've always said it the way it is. So there's a reason why he's lying. Okay, and so he knows deep down he's going to lose this fight. He's just trying to sell the fight, trying to sell pay-per-views so he can make some money.
Paulie, during the press conference, you mentioned that you want to put him in a coma. Did you really mean that, or was that just in the heat of the moment?
You know what? I know there's been a lot of controversy over the statements with Deontay Wilder in Brazil. Here's the problem I have and it's a little different from the way Deontay was saying it. But in the heat of the moment, first of all, you don't know what a guy's going to say, and then fight week things, I think they have to be forgiven for being in a bad place because your mind is in a place that it's usually not in at any other week in your life, when the place where your mind goes to for fight week. So I don't think you can blame Deontay for saying certain things or any fighter for saying certain things on fight week. Having said that, Lobov and the mixed martial arts community have really disrespected my sport in a lot of ways. Boxing, saying that we fight with pads on, and it's not a real fighting sport and whatnot. When we have all the deaths, we have more of the deaths by a long shot. We have more of the permanent damage by a long shot. And this is not to say that you diminish the danger of mixed martial arts or any other combat sport, but there is a reason why boxing has more deaths and more traumatic brain injuries in one night, okay? Because we are the most dangerous combat sport, okay? I don't care how many 360 roundhouse kicks you can do. At the end of the day, you just have to do this, and it's over. You know what I'm saying? You just get to do this. In boxing, if you sit on your stool, you'll never live it down the rest of your career. Amir Khan was known as having a lot of heart his whole career. You know what I mean? He fought his ass off his whole career. But he quits one time in Terence Crawford, and people forget all about that. That's how disheartening this can be. That's how frustrating this sport can be. So in MMA, Mr. Tap Machine Conor, he does it every fight. He's done it, 3 out of his last 4 fights? All you gotta do is this. He's not notorious McGregor. He's tap out McGregor. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, he's still the biggest sport there. So it's more accepting to save your life. In boxing, if you want to save your life, I remember Gerald McClellan got criticized for staying on one knee. I remember Freddie Pacheco criticizing him when he stayed on one knee and took a 10 count against Nigel Benn. Meantime, you saw the issues Gerald lives with today for saving his life. Because if he didn't got up and he took more punches, he probably wouldn't be alive today. Saving his life and the condition he had to remain in. So so when I see the criticism Prisha Colon got for when his corner took off his gloves a round before, trying to get him out of the dangerous fight. In MMA, they praise these guys. This guy's over there selling whiskey. People are buying it. And in boxing, if a guy quit, though, as much as this guy quit, and he tried to make any product, they kick him in his ass. You know what I'm saying? They say, get the fuck out of here with your bum products. You know what I'm saying? In MMA, they actually praise it. You quit and they praise it. So I think at day's end, the reason for me to say, put him in a coma or kill him or whatever. Yeah. Listen, you don't ever wish bad things on anybody. But honestly, would I feel bad if he wound up there? No, I wouldn't feel bad because he disrespected all of the families and all of the people that I've known personally have gone through this. All the way back to Stephen Johnson in 1998. I was in Gleason's gym. I saw him leave the gym Wednesday. He never came back. He was dead a week and a half later. Ever since then, I've gone through different people. I was ringside at the Abdul Salamo fight versus Mike Perez. I know Frankie Leal's family. Oscar Diaz was one of my rivals as a prospect coming up the ladder, and when he wound up in a coma against Delvin Rodriguez. He's dead today. He had to live the last 10 years of his life in a nursing home. He's dead today. He died after 10 years. He died at 32 years old. Nobody ever knew. It flew right under the radar, okay? These are people that close to me, okay? These are people that hit home because they were around me and I saw them and they had an association to me in some way, one way or another. When your piece of shit community and your piece of shit people talk about that we fight with pads on and then now you're in a dangerous sport like MMA and whatnot, when nothing of the sort happens to you, which is why you have a circus of a fan base, because it's like wrestling. At the end of the day, no matter what happens to you guys, this assures you you're going to see that guy next week. This assures you you're going to see that guy in a few months. In boxing, you don't have those assurances. So there's a respect level even to the trash talk we have, and it's being surpassed now. It's being overcome now with this garbage from this other community. And for me, I think the way you solve it, seeing one of their own in a coma, seeing one of their own in a fucking coffin, then you say, you know what? Fuck. This shit is not a joke. This shit is not to play with. This shit is for real, okay? Fighters risk their lives, no matter what combat sport you're in. You're risking your life getting in there, bro. Your life could change in one night. But no other sport does it change like boxing. Boxing does it to everyone, and boxing does it at all levels, from the lower level to the world-class level. Fighters, you know very well, Adonis Stevenson last month was a world champion for how many years? Not only did he lose the title, he lost his sanity, okay? So I don't take that lightly. So there's a reason why I talk the way I talk around this piece of shit and around the piece of shit people that he has around him. Because there's a respect that needs to be earned, and there's a respect that needs to be given. And maybe, since they don't know how to, they don't understand and know how to give it, maybe him winding up in a fucking coma will make the whole community understand it. And hopefully he wakes up from that coma if I put him in it, okay? And then he'll understand what the fuck I'm talking about. Because in my sport, I've seen what happens to people in my sport, and I've seen it firsthand. And it's not pretty, and it's not funny, and it's not to be played with, and it's not to be joked around with.
And I'm Kristal Hart reporting from New York City. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the fights.